Peace. Peace, everyone. Peace, peace. Wow, someone's already here? That was fast. That was fast. Literally just started. So there's been a lot of back and forth on a few of my social media websites, mainly Instagram and Facebook, about peace. Basically, a bunch of Indians saying how Moors are wrong, and then one of the things that got brought up was Aboriginal title versus Allodial title. Peace, everybody. So the Indians claim that an Aboriginal title trumps an Allodial title. And before we get into the definition of Aboriginal, let's go to what they sourced, Wikipedia, what Aboriginal title is. Let me see if I can get this to focus. There we go. It says Aboriginal title is a common law doctrine that the land rights of indigenous people to customary tenures persist after the assumption of sovereignty under settler colonialism. Now, when you look this up, it'll tell you what settler colonialism is. It's a form of colonialism which seeks to replace the original population of the colonized territory with a new society of settlers. So they're telling you that already you're under European jurisdiction. Already, that's what they're telling you. Let me see. It says right here, the requirements of proof for the recognition of Aboriginal title, the context of Aboriginal title, the methods of extinguishing Aboriginal title, and the availability of compensation in the case of extinguishment vary significantly by jurisdiction. Nearly all jurisdictions are in agreement that Aboriginal title is inalienable, and that it may be held either individually or collectively. So this is the Indians' argument when they argue Aboriginal title. And then they also argued that it's referred to as indigenous title, native title, and they use all of these words to, most people when they hear Aboriginal title, they think, sovereignty and all that crap. Then it's also original Indian title, and we know that Indian is a misnomer. And such as whether the government owes a fiduciary duty to indigenous people. So they make it seem like this is the end-all be-all, this is how you get your sovereignty back, right? But then when you scroll down, which these so-called Indians, who are really Moors, and they know they're Moors, they know that most people will just stop right here, right? That's what most people do. But if you scroll down, right here, it says Aboriginal title does not constitute allodial title or radical title in any jurisdiction. And look at allodial right here. Allodial title constitutes ownership of real property that is independent of any superior lord, landlord. Allodial title is related to the concept of land held in allodium, or land ownership by occupation in defense of the land. Right? So there's no superior lord over an allodial title. Right? Then you keep reading Aboriginal title. Aboriginal title can be extinguished by the government. So how's it yours, but then it can be taken away? You get what I'm saying? So now let's go to Black's Law Dictionary. Because when you scroll up, I'll do it again. When you scroll up, where was it? Aboriginal title and Indian title are the same. Right? Original Indian title and Aboriginal title are the same. So the Indians are arguing again that Aboriginal title is higher than allodial title. So let's go to Aboriginal title in here. Maybe it's in the fifth edition. So this is Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition that I'm representing. I'll show you as soon as I find the page. And as I'm doing this, there's gonna be a point in time in this video where I show you where a specific Moor who claims to be Indian references Black Law Dictionary, so you can never say that they don't know. That's on the 4th edition. Let's go to the 5th edition. Black's Law Dictionary, 5th edition. Right here, I found it. Aboriginal title. Type of title of Indians based on continuous occupancy, and to use to exclusion of others. So it's a type of Indian title, right? Type of titles of Indians, so that's Indian title. Let me see if I can clear it up. So now let's go to Indian title in the same book. Oh, look at that, Indian title. Permissive right. So let's say that's your refrigerator, right? That means you own that refrigerator. Do you need permission to open it? No, you don't, because it's yours. So how is it permissive right? How is it your right, but you need permission to do it, right? Permissive right of occupancy granted by federal government to Aboriginal possessors of the land. It is mere possession, not specifically recognized as ownership, and may be extinguished by federal government at any time. So my argument was that, Indian title isn't ownership. Their argument is Aboriginal title is. But then when you look at Aboriginal title on Wikipedia, it tells you that it is Indian title. And, scroll down again, it can be extinguished by the federal government, which we know that the Europeans aren't government. So Indian title and Aboriginal title is the exact same thing. As distinguished from Allodial title, which it will even tell you on Wikipedia, it's superior. You get what I'm saying? So don't let these people fool you. Literally, if you know etymology, you realize that the word Aboriginal means from the original. So if you say from the original title, now you're dealing with chain of title, so you have to figure out who the original holder is. Saying Aboriginal title is the same as saying certificate of title. Meaning a title exists, but that's not the original. Right? So let's just go to a basic dictionary and look up Aboriginal. This is the American Heritage Dictionary of the English Language. Go to Aboriginal. So remember, Aboriginal is an adjective, not a noun. So you aren't Aboriginal. Does that make sense? You're from the original, but you're not Aboriginal as if Aboriginal is a noun. Aboriginal is an adjective. Where is it? Right here. Aborigine. From ab plus origine, meaning from the beginning. Aboriginal. Adjective. So if you have, by saying you have Aboriginal title, you're saying you have from the beginning title. If you have from the beginning title, you're talking about chain of title. A chain of title is a record where you can see from this person, the title was transferred to this person. From this person, it was transferred to that person. From that person, it was transferred to that person, all the way up to who has it presently. And you would have that in Allodial, meaning free and clear of any lord. Obviously, if you have Aboriginal title, the federal government can extinguish it at any moment. Let me read some of these comments. Peace. Peace, 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 peace. Also, these same... Wow, now the comments are popping up really fast. Hold on. Yeah, let me show you this. So these same Moors who are claiming to be Indian will admit that being Indian is a misnomer. Now I'm going to show you this guy. Some of you may know him. His name is Raymond Watson. He claims to be Native American. Does Raymond Watson sound like a Native American name to you? No, it doesn't. And this other guy, let me show you Two Hawks' his comment on my Instagram. As soon as it'll load. Until that's loaded, let me show you this one. So this brother right here, or sister, whatever it is, said, "We know it's a misnomer, but the treaties are with Indians. Simple as that." So what I responded was, so as a translation, you know it's a fraud, and you still claim it for a benefit. You said to yourself, "We know it's a misnomer." So you sell out your people's real identity for casinos and paper every month. Now, if you know Indians, they get a paycheck from the Europeans to stay in the subservient position, meaning wards of the state. You know what I'm saying? So they get paid monthly to sell themselves out. Not only are they selling themselves out, they're selling out your daughter, your nieces, your nephews, your grandmother, your parents, by maintaining the fraud. Now this is what Two Hawk said himself. This is his Instagram. Right? He says, "Agreed, Indian is a misnomer for the nations that were already here. What more do you need? What more do you need? What more do you need from these people?" Now commenting on the so-called Indians, you know how, like I say it all the time, Indians are sellouts. Look this up for yourself. And a lot of you who watch my videos already know what I'm about to pull out, but I got some additional heat that my cousin found with his name on it, his thumbprint, all that stuff. So this is called the Joint Memorandum of Understanding of 1978, the Narragansett Indian Land Claim Settlement Agreement. Right? This is it, stamped by the Secretary of State at the time, the Attorney General at the time. Memorandum of Understanding concerning settlement of the Rhode Island Indian Lands Claim. Now, before I go into that, let me just show you something real quick. This is how easy this is. Look. Go to sos.ri.gov. I've done it before. This is how easy it is to point out the folly in these people, the fraud. Go to civics and education. Go to Rhode Island history. And the Europeans admit that the indigenous people mistakenly named Indians by Columbus were the first inhabitants of present-day Rhode Island. So they're telling you that we were mistakenly named Indians, which means we're not. Then they say present-day Rhode Island, which means the name of the land is not Rhode Island. Then, of course, when you study, you know that there's, the first issue at law is status. The second issue is jurisdiction and venue. And you see when you change the name of the land and you change the name of the people, you acquire jurisdiction over the land and the people. So if you say you're from Rhode Island, you're saying the Europeans have jurisdiction over you. Because again, when you go to that same website, hold on, let me turn the camera on. Go to the same website, right? They tell you that what? Rhode Island is what? A colony. A European colony, right? So how can any Aboriginal people be citizens of a European colony if you're not European? So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when you're looking at this, right? A state charter corporation known as the State Corporation will be created with an irrevocable charter for the purpose of acquiring, managing, and permanently holding the lands defined in Section 2 and 3 below, the settlement lands. The State Corporation will be controlled by a board of directors. Oh, that's blurry, my bad. This isn't the best. I got an iPhone 5, so it's trash. There we go. Right? The state corporation will be controlled by a board of directors, the majority of whose members will be chosen by a Rhode Island corporation known as the Narragansett Tribe of Indians. So wait a minute. I thought you were Aboriginal, Native, Autochthon people. How come it says you're a Rhode Island corporation? And Rhode Island's a colony, so who's your master? Right? And they gave up 900 acres of land. Don't worry, we ain't done. The federal legislation shall be obtained that eliminates all Indian land claims of any kind, whether possessory, monetary, or otherwise. What did I just say? that this agreement waives any Indian land claims. That's why when you get an Aboriginal title and an Indian title, the Europeans can just take your land away from you because it ain't your land because you ain't Indian, right? The settlement land will be held in trust by the state corporation for the benefit of the descendants of the 1880 Rhode Island Narragansett Roll, which means what? That if you're not a private member on this private list, then you don't get no benefits. That's why when you hear most of these so-called Indians speak, they say, well, my great-grandfather was chief, and I come from a great long line of chiefs, because you come from that 1880 roll. And my great-grandfather got to say who was part of the tribe and who wasn't. Because you weren't part of that private roll. Because if you really was part of a tribe, tribe means family, you don't get to choose your mother, you don't get to choose your sister, you don't get to choose your father, they're just your bloodline, you get to choose your cousins, that's blood. Sellouts, right? Don't worry, we ain't done. All laws of the state of Rhode Island shall be in full force and effect on these settlement lands. Now, if it's your land, and you're here before these Europeans, and they're foreigners, how come their laws apply to you and your people on your land? Because you're a sellout. Wait, not done. Here's their signatures. Narragansett Tribe of Indian, which is, again, a Rhode Island corporation, by their attorney, Thomas Tureen. Does that sound Native American to you? Right? Now, some of you may ask, but Jamal, this is from 1978. That doesn't apply today. Well, let's check this out. All right? This is a letter from Gina Raimondo, who is the current de facto Bay or de facto governor of Narragansett, which is really Rhode Island, right? Office of the Governor, Gina Raimondo, Governor Gina Raimondo, to Mr. Raymond Watson. Uh-oh. Dear Mr. Watson, it gives me great pleasure to appoint you to the Outdoor Recreation Council pursuant to Executive Order blah, 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 to serve at the pleasure of the governor. So who does he serve? Does he serve his people or does he serve the governor? Wait a minute. If you look up Gina Raimondo, she's European. And if you look up Raymond L. Watson, he's not European. He claims to be Indian. So how is he getting any power from a foreigner on his alleged land? Ward of the state, right? Not only that, right? This is just, well, Jamal, how do you know that this is real, right? Let's check this out. Certificate of engagement. Name, Raymond Watson. Elected or appointed? He was appointed. Wait a minute. If you're Aboriginal and Indigenous and Native American, how come your people didn't elect you? Why were you appointed by a foreigner? Appointing authority. Oh, a European. Expiration of term. Oh, serves at the pleasure of the governor. You don't serve the people, you serve the governor, right? Look, whose signature is that? That ain't my signature. Oh, wait, there's more, right? These are his documents, right? Official proclamation and letter of approval and acceptance. So this is the letter of him approving and accepting that this European can appoint him to any status on his so-called homeland, right? Then this is his quote-unquote free national Indian name, Nesu Wissawanog, right? Then he agrees that he's commercially known as Raymond L. Watson. So what does that tell you? That tells you that these Indians know that in law, there's two types of persons in law, natural and artificial. And they know that these Europeans are claiming jurisdiction over the corporate straw name. And he's agreeing. He's saying he's commercially known as this. Free nationals aren't commercially known as crap. Because human beings are subject to commerce. In possession and receipt of an official certificate of engagement from the office of the governor, Gina Raimondo, for the state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantation under executive order of blah, 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 blah. I'm a goddamn sellout. As appointed by the governor, blah, 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 signed by him, thumbprint, red ink, which means what? They know that there's a difference between a natural person and an artificial person. That's why he didn't sign in black. So, does this sellout agreement still apply today? I think it does. So can you believe anything that these people say? I doubt that you can. Do y'all need to see it again? Do I need to go over this again? Can you listen to anything that these people say? This ain't my handwriting. That's not me. That's not me. I'm not commercially known as this. Jamal Talib Abdullah Bey doesn't have a commercial name. Because I'm not commerce. I'm a human being. Right? Not only that, right? Not only that. Let's go into this right here. These are his words. Right? Let me know if y'all can hear it or not.
Native American was never an Indian. It was different from an Indian. They considered themselves to be the real ones who were born here in their new country. And all of these Irish people,
that's Raymond Watson.
And these Italians and all the other ones that came after, you're destroying our lands and you're taking our jobs away and you're bringing crime and drama and all of that. So nothing's really changed. Nothing's really changed. But we have to keep this in mind. A Native American is not an Aboriginal or an Indian.
He said a Native American is not an Aboriginal or an Indian. So he's trying to say that there's a difference, right? Listen.
It's not. It's just not by law. We can argue our personal feelings what we want and what we believe and what we were told. But in the eyes of the law, a Native American is not a...
So now he's saying it doesn't matter what you believe or what you were taught. He's saying in the eyes of the law, this is what it is. So in the eyes of the law, an Indian title and an Aboriginal title can both be revoked. So how's that supreme ownership of anything? And according to law, you're a sellout. So what are you talking about? Why listen to you when all these documents exist? Right? Why listen to you? Why listen when you claim to be a Native American Narragansett Indian, right? From the Narragansett tribe, when clearly the Narragansett tribe is a Rhode Island corporation. This is why they get benefits. This is why it's so easy for the Indians. Because they're dirty Moors and they're sellouts. In the military, that's called pause for effect. When they shoot artillery and then they stop shooting, they pause so that all the chaos can just sink in, right? Let's continue.
So when does an American Aborigine / an American Indian become a Native American? Well, when an American Indian tribal nation chooses to contract with the federal government for federal recognition. All the Indians now become Native Americans. Now why is that? Well, let's look at the definition for recognition. Recognition, Black's Law Dictionary, 2nd edition.
Wait. He just said Black's Law Dictionary, 2nd edition. Oh! So that means he knows about Black's Law Dictionary, huh? Alright, so let's just reference this again real quick. Let's just reference this again. Right? So no one can ever say that they don't know. These Indians don't know. He just said Black's Law Dictionary out of his own mouth, right? That's what he said. I didn't say it. He said Black's Law Dictionary. So let's look at Indian. Let's look at some Indian stuff. All right, let's look at Indian Claims Commission. Indians residing within the United States. Wait, within the United States. Hold on. Let me do this real quick. Let me see what the United States is. Let me just Google this. So we already know about the 13 colonies, right? We already know the 13 colonies agreed that this entity known as the United States will represent them internationally, right? And we already know that in the Constitution it says states can't make treaties or enter into any alliances, right? That's why when you look at this document, it's a joint memorandum. It's a memo. It's a memo, not a treaty. Memo, right? Let's look this up. Title. Oh, look. Title 28, Chapter 6, Subchapter 176, Subsection 3002, Number 15A. What is the United States? What is that? Let's go to number 15. What is the United States? The United States means a federal corporation. What does federal mean? Federal means contract. So the United States is a contract corporation, right? So Indians residing within the United States. When we study master etymologist Abdullah L. Talib Mosley Bey, he teaches you how to read. Res is Latin and means a thing. Then when you study more, residing or resident means a thing identified. So Indians are things within the United States, which is a corporation, so it's property. Indian country, part of public domain. Wait a minute. If it's your land, why is it public? Excuse me, my girlfriend has a dog. Indian lands, real property ceded. When you study what ceded means granted to the U.S. by Indians, held in trust for Indians. So wait a minute. If it's your property, how come you don't administrate it yourself? Why is someone else administrating it for you? Indian reservation, a part of public domain set aside by proper authority for the use and occupation of tribes or tribes of Indians. Wait a minute, who's that proper authority? Because I thought it was your land. Continuing, An Indian reservation consists of lands validly set apart for the use of Indians under superintendence of the government, which retains the title to the land. So, if it's your land, do you need superintendents? That means a landlord, doesn't it? That means someone's supervising you, doesn't it? Now, if it's your land, why is someone else supervising you on which? That's like, okay, one of y'all in the chat, right? That's like saying, you know, your house is an Indian reservation, and I go in and supervise you, and then you claim that's your house. Obviously, it's not. Indian title already went into that. Indian tribal property. I'm going to skip this. The title to which is vested in the United States, but held in trust for Indian tribes. So again, the United States is a corporation, so these people are agreeing. Just like this sellout document with so-called Nishu Wasuwanag, commercially known as Raymond Watson, he's agreeing that he's commerce. He agreed himself that he is a commercial person. He's commerce. Nishuwanag, commercially known as Raymond L. Watson, aka Two Hawks, is commercially known as Raymond Watson. And who does he get his authority from? Let me find out. The European governor of Rhode Island. That's why whenever you claim to be Indian, you just give up all your rights. Now, oh look, Indian tribe. Indian race of men found in the United States. But wait a minute. I thought the United States was a federal corporation. Doesn't say country. Doesn't say land mass. It says a federal corporation. So can you be a race of men found in Domino's? Can you be a race of men found in Walmart? Can you be a race of men found in Sears? Can you be a race of men found in Walgreens? Sell out. All of them. Now again, no personal animosity towards Raymond Watson, who agrees to be a sellout. When I've seen him a few times around here, because Narragansett is so small. Some of you may know it as Rhode Island, but it ain't Rhode Island. The land is so, the territory is so small. I've seen him a few times, and you know, we greeted each other, we said peace, and that was it. You know, don't think that this is any hate towards anyone, because he'll tell you himself. We see each other crossing, shake hands, say peace, and keep it moving. No need to act like we're friends. No need to act like we're enemies. I know his position. I know mine. We say peace, and we keep going. Right? So I mean, you can't say anything else, right? It's that simple. So I did this video for people who may be confused, or you know, a lot of us, like when I first started, I was like, you know, these people, these Indians, they must not know, you know, they must not know, they can't know. I was putting my sincerity on them, like trying to, I guess, being naive, just trusting in them, thinking that, you know, once they get this information, they'll change and they'll fight for the people, and you know, we'll do this together. No, they won't. They won't. They say it themselves. We know it's a misnomer, and you agree anyway. So don't put your own sincerity on people who are not sincere, because just like the prophet said, right? Let me read what the prophet said. The prophet Noble Ali said, in to the members of the Untitled Temple of America, he said, "Be faithful unto your forefathers' divine and national creed, that you'll be blessed for your good deeds that you sow in the flesh. Allah is the one that judges the world, and his judgment is on now, but the weak can comprehend it not. The end of time is drawing near, so says Allah to his divine prophet, I, Noble Ali. And that's why many hearts have been turned to stone. Many have eyes to see, but cannot see, ears to hear, but cannot hear, lest they would be confounded of their sins." This is his sin. That's his thumbprint, red ink, red signature, commercially known as this. That's his sin. That once the people bring it to him, he has to face that. So of course, any of these Indians, when you expose them, they're gonna jump into the comments, jump into the chat. They're gonna ask one question, and then you don't even respond. Then they add more to the list. You know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to cover up their sellout. They're trying to cover it all up. They're hiding from it. You know what I'm saying? So don't, like I said, don't put your sincerity on them. Don't make it seem like just because you're sincere that they're gonna be sincere, because they're not. That ain't my thumbprint. You're not finding something with Jamal's thumbprint and signature on this. Getting no authority from no Europeans. Any position that I'm in, the people put me in that, and I got proof where the people their signatures on it. They're appointing me to whatever position. This isn't no, well, I come from a long line of chiefs. Okay, that's like saying just because your father was the CEO of Walmart, that now you're the CEO of Walmart. Well, if you're incompetent, you ain't gonna be that CEO. But if you're a sellout, like these Indians are, then you can be in that position. You know what I'm saying? And then don't let these Indians say, well, my great-great-grandfather was this. Like, as an example, this guy, Raymond L. Watson, claims that he's from the line of Canonicus, who was one of the Sagamore say, which means wise more. When you look up the word Canonicus, it's Latin. I thought you was Native American Indian. How come you got a Latin name? Then we look up Canonicus, it means one skilled in canon law. That don't sound too Indian to me. Oh, Moors taught in Latin. Imagine that. Imagine that. Wait a minute. How come some of the Indian leaders around here call themselves Sagamores? How come it has the word Moor in it? Very interesting. Very interesting. How come the street's called Moorland around here? How come when you go so-called downtown Providence, they have a Turk head up there? Big as day with a crescent moon on it. How come it's not an Indian head? How come this landmass was never named India? How we Indians if the name of the land ain't India? Again, don't let your sincerity fool you. These people are not sincere. They are not. This footage of Rhode Island, the European State Police, going into the reservation and kicking down the Indians' doors because they weren't paying taxes. Right? Now, to the public, it seems like, oh no, why are they doing that to the Indians? This is their land, and they're Aboriginal, and they're autochtons, and they're indigenous. But then again, when you go to this document right here, it said it. I'll read it again. I'll read it again. What does it say? It says, the federal legislation shall be obtained that eliminates all Indian claims of any kind, whether possessory, monetary, or otherwise, invoking land in Rhode Island. Now, Rhode Island's not the name of the land, so already they're telling you it's a fraud. Right? Let's skip to number 13. Except as otherwise specified in this memorandum. It's not a treaty, it's a memo. Hey, did you get the memo? Hey, remember, you're a sellout. Remember that? That's a memo, right? All laws of the state of Rhode Island shall be in full force and effect on the settlement lands, including but not limited to state and local building, fire, and safety codes. So when you see footage of the Europeans kicking down these Indian doors, it's because they agreed. Don't believe the hype. Let me show you this right here. Let me show you this video real quick. So I just showed you the video of Raymond Watson, who agrees that he's commercially known as Raymond Watson, saying, you know, it doesn't matter what you believe or what you've been taught, it matters what the law is, right? And I just showed you this document where they signed that Rhode Island laws will apply to them. And let me show you something that was on the news a while ago. This right here.
Thanks, Joni. Opening statements today in the smoke shop raid criminal case. More than 4.5 years after the infamous raid, the trial is now underway for 7 Narragansett Indians accused of assaulting state troopers. Eyewitness News reporter Jared Holbrook was inside the courtroom for day one. He joins us live now in the Providence Mobile Newsroom.
During the first day of this trial, the jury heard opening statements as well as testimony from a state trooper who claimed he bought tax-free cigarettes undercover, and they also saw news footage from all the local TV stations, including ours. 7 members of the Narragansett Indian tribe.
Oh, what did you say? Narragansett Indian tribe. Wait. Hey, let me pull up these documents again real quick. Wait 1 second. Hold on. It's a Narragansett Indian tribe, right? Narragansett Tribe of Indians. Rhode Island Corporation. Oh, all right. Just making sure.
Including Chief Sachem Matthew Thomas.
Oh, Chief Sachem Matthew Thomas. Matthew Thomas. Does that sound Native American to you? Matthew. Hey, Matthew, come here. When I say the word Matthew, who do you think of? Probably a pale-skinned European who probably has a friend named Gunther, huh? All right, let's keep going.
Accused of resisting arrest and disorderly conduct. In July of 2003, Rhode Island State Police raided a smoke shop on tribal land.
Oh, tribal lands. Okay. Remember, it's being superintended by so-called federal government, so they can go in. It doesn't matter what these Indians say. They can do whatever they want. Remember that. So remember that. Don't forget.
A search warrant from the state was issued.
Oh, wait. Search warrant from the state. If you're a Native American and they don't have jurisdiction over you, then they can't issue search warrants. Oh, I forgot. You signed this agreement.
Because the tribe was selling tax-free cigarettes.
Now, remember, wait, this is their land. They shouldn't have to pay taxes. Oh, yeah. They agreed that all of Rhode Island's laws would apply to them and their people.
The state police arrived. Several struggles broke out.
Look how he's not choking him. Look, you see how the arm's bent? If you're choking someone, your arm's going to be straight. You ain't bending no arms. Check that out. All for show. Check it out.
Police had no right to raid their land.
Their claim was that the police had no rights to raid their land. Wait a minute. Let me go back to number 13. Wait. Let me go back to 13. Look. All laws of the state of Rhode Island shall be in full force and effect on the settlement lands. Oh, wait. Let me show you their signature one more again. Narragansett Tribe of Indians by their attorney. Oh, it's a game.
During opening statements, the prosecutor told the jury tribal leaders were preparing a defense before the raid, even setting up a perimeter. A federal appeals court determined state police.
It's all a show. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled.
Opening the smoke shop was no
Don't
secret.
be fooled. Don't be fooled. Look. He is speaking for the so-called Indians. Wait a minute. Wait. Let's put jurisprudence aside, right? Just for the moment. Do Chinese people have Germans speak for them in court? Let me ask that one more time. Do Chinese people let Germans speak for them in court? No, they don't. So why are these so-called Indians allowing this European to speak for them? I find that very interesting.
Essentially, what occurred in this case.
Look, that's the so-called defense attorney. That don't look Native American to me.
They don't want to admit it.
William.
Now they're going to judge.
When I say the name William, do you think of a Native American? When I say the name Raymond, you think of Native American? When I say Matthew, you think of Native American? When I say Thomas Tureen, you think of Native American? I think of European. Oh, look, European.
They charged these individuals with certain offenses.
This case is about what happened.
Look how
to the
serious
state
these people
police
look.
troopers when they attempted to do their job and execute.
Oh, they're so
the search
serious.
warrant.
They didn't
Look,
get a warrant
look.
from federal court. They didn't get a temporary restriction.
Kevin Bristow. Does that sound? Oh, he must be a $5 Indian. He's probably, he got his grandmother's Cherokee. It's always his grandmother's side. It's always Cherokee. Look at him. Look how serious he is.
Restraining order in joining this activity. They didn't
Look.
just shut them down by just stopping the buyers of the cigarettes.
It's
Why
a
not?
joke.
They were in possession of untaxed cigarettes.
It's a
Shut
joke.
them down.
That trial is
It's a
expected to
joke.
last up-
It's a joke. Don't let these people fool you. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. These same people will say, I'm from the Narragansett tribe, Narragansett nation. How is your tribe also the nation? When you study anything, look at Brazil. Brazil's the name of the nation. There's many tribes in the nation, but Brazil's the name of the nation. Let's look at, all right, when you speak to a German, right, you say, well, what are you? Do they say, well, I'm an Ostrogoth from the Ostrogoth nation of Germany? No, they say I'm German. So how are you the Ostrogoth tribe of the Ostrogoth nation? No, they say I'm German. So how are you the Native American Narragansett tribe of the Mashipog Narragansett nation? How does that make sense? Huh? How are there multiple nations in one small landmass? How does that? What is their agenda? Let me read some of these comments, because y'all be having me laughing. Let me see. It don't add up. Yeah, it don't add up. It does not add up. Let's see what we got. Peace. This stuff is really, it's not deep. It's really not deep. It's not deep. It's not deep. It's not. Look, I'll do this again. Look. Someone had said in the comments that this is some deep information. Is this deep right here? Right? Is this deep? The state corporation will be controlled by a board of directors, the majority whose members will be chosen by a Rhode Island corporation known as the Narragansett Tribe of Indians. Is that deep? Is that deep, or is it saying the Narragansett Tribe of Indians is a Rhode Island corporation and not an Aboriginal group of people at all? It's a Rhode Island corporation. Is that deep? Hell no, it's not deep. Look. And then again, this is from 1978. And then this is from 2016. The current European governor of Rhode Island, right? Appointing the so-called Indian. Right? Is that deep? Hell no, this ain't deep. Look, and then what does he do? Serve at the pleasure of the governor. This ain't deep. It's called I'm selling my people out for a position. So now when I go on the streets, I get to say, I'm this. And you know, because I come from a long line of sellout. Excuse me, chiefs. I come from a long line of sellout. Chiefs. And then look, we already know there's two types of persons in the law, right? We already know that because we study. Nesu Wesuwanog, which he claims is his free national name, is commercially known as Raymond L. Watson. Raymond Watson. Raymond Watson is appointed by the governor. Nesu Wesuwanog, thumbprint, signature. This ain't deep. Here's the original sellout agreement. The memo, reminder, you're a sellout. Oh yeah, here's proof. It's not deep. It's not deep. These people just make it seem like they're genuine and they care for the people, and you know, we gotta, you know, we're activists and you know, and police, blah 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 blah. And then we have conversations with these people. You hear them say, de facto, de jure, colored, right to travel. They're saying everything's Moore's are saying, except when you claim to be Moor, you claim a solidified position where you know these people have no jurisdiction over you, and you know your land is colonized, and you know that there's a fight ahead of you. But when you claim to be Indian, you claim to be black, colored, part of NNAIP, alphabet soup, FANA, alphabet soup, the autochthon, aboriginal, autochthonous, Native American, autochthonous, Turtle Islanders, you're going to be a goddamn sellout. Excuse my language, because I know children watch. But children, don't listen to these people. Look at the law itself. Look at what it, read the Constitution, and let that be your guide. Don't let these Indians say, well, you know, the states never got treaties with us. Well, if you read the GD Constitution, it says states can't enter into treaties, so what kind of BS argument is that? They make that type of argument because they know the people don't know. So again, not only do they get the, well, you know, the governor of Rhode Island appointed me and I'm from a long line of sellout chiefs, you know, they get the people who don't know and they get to just tell them whatever they want. So now their alleged status gets even higher. Does that make sense? It's not deep. Let me read more of these comments. And again, remember, there's no animosity between, you know, Jamal Talib Abdullah Bey and Raymond Watson. There's no personal animosity whatsoever. Like I said before, I see him in the streets. Well, actually, I've seen him at Staples, and I've seen him going into Superior Court. What are you doing in there? Oh, anyway, you know, shook hands, said peace, you know, safe travels, all that stuff. No animosity at all. Let's see, what else we got? I'm not sure about Atlanta. I'm not in that territory. Gunther. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, they are a big joke. They are good actors. They're very good actors. They know that most of our people, the Asiatics, they go to European indoctrination camps. They know the education is poor. They know it's poor. And then all of these people, all of them are part of some Masonic group. All of them. All of them. I know y'all seen pictures of me with, you know, certain individuals running for certain positions in the political arena. We had a meeting in a Masonic basement. I'm telling you because I've been there. You know what I'm saying? These people know what's up. right? My bad. I get passionate. I get off topic sometimes. But, you know, just don't be fooled. Don't even listen to what I'm saying. Read these documents. Look this up. Look it up yourself. This is public info. Look this up. Look, now he against it. He knows it's not he against it, but then he says what? This is Rhode Island. Sell out. Because then when you go to if you're in Narragansett lands and you go to so-called Providence at the end of Broad Street, it says founded 1636. We've been here before 1636, and the land was not Rhode Island or Providence. Then it'll say incorporated 1832. So why are you still calling the name of the land Rhode Island? Because they know when you say I'm Rhode Islander, guess who gets jurisdiction? The Europeans who created the colony. So look, he knows it's Narragansett, not Narragansett, and not Providence, and not Rhode Island, right? Look this document up. Look it up yourself. Look it up for yourself. This isn't private. You know, you gotta know people who know people to get this stuff. Google it. Look all this up. Look it up. Look this up. Look this up. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you. Get the books that they reference and read. Don't just because he says on video, you know, look it up to correct me. Don't think that that's some innocent gesture. That's saying, to avoid karmic debt, look it up for yourself. If you believe me, that's on you. Don't believe Jamal. Don't believe Raymond Watson. Go to the law itself. And then look at common sense. Common sense. Would a Chinese have a German speak for them in court? The answer is no. So why would a person claiming to be Native American have a European speak for them in court? That doesn't make sense. Why would a Native American say, I'm commercially known as this? If human beings aren't subject to commerce, because we're not commercial entities, we're not products, we're not goods and services, we're divine beings. Why is it that the Supreme Court said human beings aren't subject to commerce, but these Indians give you commercial IDs with a social security number on it, but they won't call it a social. It's their own social. And then they say they're commercially recognized as something, but human beings aren't subject to commerce. It's not deep. It's a sellout. Use common sense, please. Don't let these people sell you out. Because the more that we agree to what they're saying, the more that they can maintain this gatekeeper, trusteeship over you and your estate, when if it's yours, it's yours. You don't need anyone else to govern over you. You know what I'm saying? You don't need no birth certificate from nobody, right? Look at this. Let's use common sense again, right? Jamal, I don't want to go get a birth certificate. What do? Oh, create your own documents. Do I need a birth certificate? No. Well, why don't I need one? Well, because you actually being here is proof that you were born. What? You think a document is proof that you were born and not your physical body and you speaking? But these Indians will say, come to this tribe and become a member and get an ID with a number on it so we can identify you. But all I say is come to class and I'm identifying you. Free and accepted? Hey, I'm Jamal. Shake my hand. Oh, cool. I just identified myself. What more do you need? I'll wait. Why would you need someone social? That's private. That's like me going to your house saying, oh, if you want any Morris rights, I gotta know how many heirs you got. I need to know when your children were born, what time they were born. Why do I need to know any of that? If the Constitution says the people have the right to be secure in their persons, papers, and effects, meaning privacy, why do I need any of your information? Why do these Indians need anything from you? If you're my cousin, right? Let's say you're my cousin. Do I need some documents proving that you're my cousin? Maybe, family records where I see where my mother said, this person is our cousin because of whatever. But do I need some birth certificate or some ID proving that you're my blood? No. So how come these Indians need you to have this ID so you can be part of this tribe? How come these Indians need you to be part of this group so you can be recognized? When you speak to a Chinese person, do you say, oh, you part of this group? Let me see your Chinese ID where it has this number on it. Let me see your Chinese birth certificate. Or do they say, hey, I'm Chinese, and you be like, oh yeah, cool. How come other nations, they just say, I'm this, and then we accept it? But then when it comes to Indians, you got to have this ID. Huh? I'm confused. How come with Moors, they say, well, in order for you to be saved, you have to authenticate this birth certificate. But when you authenticate the birth certificate, you don't authenticate it. The state does, which is proof that it's theirs, right? You get what I'm saying? So that's like saying, if you got my book, authenticate that book. Who's the only person that can authenticate that book? The person who wrote it. So by me authenticating that book, that just means I wrote it. So if you get the birth certificate authenticated, that just means it's theirs, which you already knew. So why waste the fiat? Oh, well, I get to say that I'm the administrator over that account. So if Jamal Talib Abdullah Bey creates a trust, an account, for his heirs, can you just say you can administrate that without permission from me? No, you can't. So if you get a birth certificate authenticated and you don't get permission from them to be administrator, are you an administrator? Another example. Well, I'm the beneficiary to that account. Okay. So if Jamal Talib Abdullah Bey creates a trust, an account, for his heirs, can you just say, well, I'm part of Jamal Talib Abdullah Bey's, I'm a beneficiary to his trust? If I didn't write you in? No, you can't. So why come these dirty Moors claiming to be Indian and claiming to be Moors and claiming to be black and Spanish and I'm from this Indian and Tokton group, how come they're claiming all this crap, be part of this, and you're protected by my trust? You can just administrate your own stuff, administrate your own family, create your own family records, protect your estate. Don't have someone else protect your estate. Listen to this. This is how stupid these people are. And not you, the people claiming, put your stuff under my trust and I'll protect you, right? Imagine this. Imagine I say, oh, put your stuff under Jamal's trust, right? And you domicile somewhere in Texas, right? And then some people in Texas have an issue with you. I'm all the way up here. How am I protecting you? Huh? What? Huh? Think about that. Do you think a document's gonna protect you? Oh, oh, look. Here's a paper. What's the paper gonna do? Who does the paper come from? The divine being. That's why Islam is I, self, law, and master. Put your stuff in your trust. Jamal, what's the trust? Here's how simple a trust is. Hey, watch my drink while I go to the bathroom. In that situation, you're the grantor to your drink. They're the administrator or trustee. Their charge was watching that drink. And who's the beneficiary? You, so you don't get drugged. Another example. I have this big old house. I want to give it to my children. Okay, I'll give it to them. Since I'm the adult, I'm the competent one, I'm administrating it now for their benefit, and then I'll just write it down. Now I'm transferring trusteeship over to my heirs. So now you have a chain of title. That makes sense? This stuff is simple. It's very simple. Don't complicate it. I know I'm kind of bouncing all over the place, but it's all connected. Because things like this right here, the governor of Rhode Island, who's the current administrator of that European colony, is giving this person trusteeship powers. If you agree to be part of that trust, if you agree to be a citizen of that corporation, Rhode Island and the corporation known as the Narragansett Tribe of Indians, then you agree that he has power over you. Don't agree. Why would you agree that another man has power over you? Period. Why? Why? It doesn't make sense. Don't agree. Please don't agree. What else we got here? You don't need anything from anyone. Look, in the Bible it says, observe all things which I commanded you, and lo, I'm with you always. Look at nature, and the truth is always there. Who does a bird say, let me put my nest building trust into an elephant, and I'll let the elephant be the trustee and build my nest? No. The bird will go do its thing, get its twigs, and build its nest. What do you need an elephant to do it for you for? Another bird's not like, you know what, I'm gonna go relax and then, hey y'all birds, can you build this nest for my children? No, build your own nest. What do these people keep saying? Put your stuff under my trust and we'll protect you, and you know, we'll blah blah blah. How are they protecting you? Who are you protecting? We still got homeless. If you're in so-called Rhode Island, now you get into territory. Go down to Crossroads. Why are there brown-skinned people sleeping on the floor? Why are there Aboriginal indigenous people sleeping on the ground? But you know, you're protecting someone in your trust. How come there's homeless people? What? And then right down the street there's abandoned buildings. How come you got all this money, all this power, you ain't fixing up these buildings for your own people? Because you listen to these Indians. Listen to them. Listen to them. They'll say, these black people are really Indian and they got rights. Well, how come you ain't building houses for them? You get the paychecks every month. You got the casinos. You already robbing your people. Oh yeah, because you're selfish. Guaranteed, if I was getting that amount of fiat a month, I'll be building up these houses. I got family members who are homeless. I got family members who don't want to be in Section 8. What's the issue? Rights of indigenous people says we have the right to our land and resources back. How come you ain't enforcing it? Oh, because you're a sellout. You get what I'm saying? Don't let your innocence or your sincerity fool you. Don't place your sincerity on these people, because common sense will tell you that they're sellouts. All these we got all this power and you ain't doing nothing with it. You ain't unifying your people for one thing, but you'll say, hey, come to this comedy event. Come to this, single ladies night. We got homeless people on the ground, and you talking about comes to single ladies night? What? Something ain't right. But keep listening to these people. See how far they take you. Remember, your savior is self. Save yourself and help those who are already saved. I mean, mentally save other people. Because if there's a bunch of like-minded Moors together in one territory, you know how much stuff we can get done? All these Indians got these Indian councils and these Indian powwow. Oh wait, but I just thought of Indian powwow, right? Let me go into this real quick. This is how they cast spells on people. I'm getting messages to calm down. My girl's telling me to calm down. But when it comes to people selling us out, I'm not playing, right? I'm not saying do anything violent, but I'm gonna expose them with my words. You know what I'm saying? Let me find this real quick. Speaking of powwows, let me see. Right. Speaking of powwows, what do they do at powwows? They go in a circle, right? They go in a circle and do nothing, right? Check this out. Check out the spell. Indian title. Claim of Indian tribes of right because of immemorial occupancy to roam certain territory to exclusion of any other Indians. Look up the definition of roam. R-O-A-M. What does roam mean? Roam means to wander aimlessly with no agenda in sight. Meaning you don't plan it, you're just wandering, like, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm lost. What do they do at these powwows? They beat a drum and they go in a circle. What are you accomplishing? All these people spending all this money. You didn't build one indigenous community center yet? Oh, my bad. Y'all got these Wampanoag housing, but you gotta apply for some benefit. You gotta be recognized by someone when it's your bloodline. But someone gotta recognize you. That's like my mother, right? Giving birth to me, and I'm like, Mom, I'm your son. She's like, well, show me your ID. What? What are you talking? What? What? Oh yeah, before I put you in, before I breastfeed you, you gotta show me your ID, show me your nationality card, show me your Indian tribal card before you get these rights. Something's wrong. Something's seriously wrong. Something's very wrong. Then just watch these people. Just watch them. Watch what they say. Watch how they comment on things. Just watch them. Watch them. I'm a Virgo rising, so I'm very observant. So I let them do their thing, and I watched for I don't know how many days they were commenting on my Instagram and talking to other people. That I catch on to what they'd say, and I would see that Moors would say something factual, and then the Indians would just dismiss it and come with 10 more questions, right? So that's interesting. then, you know, they'll say something, they'll comment something, ask a question, and then they'll comment like 3 or 4 other times like, I didn't even answer your first. Who are you talking to? You'll find out that they're having conversations in their head. They're basically talking to themselves on your timeline. It's pretty sad. But just observe these people, observe them, observe. But that's all I got. Allodial title versus Aboriginal title. You see it on Wikipedia because they reference Wikipedia a lot. There's already a difference, so pay attention to that. Remember, Aboriginal means from the original, meaning it's not the original, it's from the original, right? So my mother would be the original me, right? And I, you know, like the Bible says, let us make man in our image. So my mother and father are the original, right? So I'm from them. So I'm Aboriginal, I'm from them. But I'm not them. You get what I'm saying? So if you got Aboriginal title, it's from the original title, meaning it's a derivative, but it's not the original, right? So basic stuff. Pay attention to the 8 parts of speech, because that's the key to a lot of stuff, right? Look up any word, even if you think you know what it means, just look it up anyway. Because when you see things like that, you know, claim of Indian tribes of right, because of immemorial occupancy to roam. Roam means to wander aimlessly, and they get nothing done. It's a spell. Then when you look up immemorial means beyond human memory, beyond human recollection. You can't claim to be Indian and say that's immemorial when everyone knows that happened in 1492. That's not immemorial. You know what I'm saying? You can look up more, and it'll just keep going and going and going and going and going until you can't date it. You can't. You know what I'm saying? We can try. We can say, you know, even the prophet said, you know, the flag's 10,000 or 50,000 years old. Well, which one is it? Well, obviously it's so old that you can't put a date on it. You know what I'm saying? So pay attention to that. 8 parts of speech, please pay attention to that. Because when you look at certain definitions, they'll throw in, you know, prepositions like of, connecting it to something else, meaning it'll stand on its own. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to what these people are saying, because you'll hear that a lot of Indians are saying things similar to what Moors are saying, because they have to have the truth mixed with their falsehood to get people in. You get what I'm saying? They have to. Because it doesn't work any other way. What else I got for y'all? Look at, just use common sense. Use common sense. Use common sense. Just use it, and apply what people are saying about us. Even other Moors. You know, even Indians are Moors. But apply certain concepts that people are saying about us here to other nations like Japan and China, right? And if it doesn't make sense there, it don't make sense here. You get what I'm saying? As an example, when I came out the military, 2014, my neighbor, they're Manchurian or Chinese, and the grandmother was talking to me. She's like, you know, where you been? You know, she had an accent. She was like, where you been? I was like, oh, I was in Japan. She said, oh, you know, long time ago, you know, we're the same people, Chinese, Japanese, same people. So they knew that they're the same people. You know what I'm saying? This Chinese woman knew that Japanese people and Chinese people are the same. Same. So when you look at, like, so again, I'm applying that there, right? The Chinese people and Japanese people, they're the same. When you look at that continent, Asia, and you look at this continent, North, South, Central America, North Americans and South Americans are the same people. That's why when we look at the dominion of Africa, the prophet was saying, you know, we're all the same people. Like, what? There's no confusion. But these Indians will be like, nah, we're we're part of the Narragansett Nation. They're part of the Wampanoag Nation. It's the same people. Stop playing, right? So that's how you can apply something in another nation and apply it here and see how that don't add up, right? I can just keep going on and saying the same stuff, but don't let these people fool you. Let me check out. Jamal, does your book deal with student loans? If you read my trust book, it goes into a lot of stuff that I go into can be applied to things like that. So I can't say yes directly because I don't think I specifically say student loans. But if you apply the jurisprudence principles to student loans, then you'll know exactly what to do. Because if it's a student loan, what did they give you? Because if the rights of indigenous people says we have the right to education, if it's a right, then no fee or tax can be placed on it. So what did they give you? Oh, they give you FRNs. Well, if they give you FRNs, then Title 12, subsection 411 says FRNs are the obligations of the United States, so that's their debt. So what are they coming to you for? Let me see. What else we got? It's a word game. I use Native American, but I know I'm a Moor to get things. Well, if you say Native American, native where? What bloodline? Name the bloodline. Because Brazilians are what? Native Americans. Then we look up the word native, it's Latin, Nici, which means to be born. To be born of what? What nation are you born of? So when you say Native American where? Where in America? Oh, Brazil. Okay, so you just say I'm Brazilian when you say Native American. Oh, I'm Colombian. Oh, so you don't need to say Native American, you just say Colombian. And last time I checked, Brazil and Colombia don't spell India, so they ain't Indians. What else we got? What else we got here? Any questions before I end this? Even stuff like that, when they claim that they gave us smallpox and stuff like that. Last time I checked, last time other scholars checked, when you do research on Europe in the, let's say, 5th century, all the way up to the 16th century, the Europeans were dying of something called the Black Plague. Who went in there and cleaned them up and got rid of diseases in Europe? The Moors. So if we went in there and rid them of the Black Plague, which the Black Plague ain't no joke, how they then come over here and give us diseases when we were clean? It's a fraud. That's part of their story, to lie and say, well, the Native American Indians were killed off, so, there's less of them, and then we ship millions of black people here, so, but they're different people, but we're the same people. It's a fraud. Because if you read this book right here, the text is probably going to be backwards because the camera's facing me, but it's called The Crescent Obscured, the United States and the Muslim World, 1776 to 1815, by Robert J. Allison. If you read this book, you'll see that these Europeans didn't even have a navy, and their merchant ships were being captured by the Moors. So how are they also trafficking human beings, and their ships are being taken, and they can't afford a navy to fight back, but they were just capturing people with no military might? Something ain't adding up. Who has the benefit from a lie like that? Probably the same Europeans who made it up. Read this book. Again, The Crescent Obscured by Robert Allison, The United States and the Muslim World, 1776 to 1815. Read it. What else we got? You said... Oh, that's someone else. We use the Constitution, but it don't mention anything about Moors in the Constitution. Yes, it does. You just have to know how to read. If you go to Article 6 of the Constitution, it says all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land. Then you go to what? The Treaty of Peace and Friendship between who? Moroccan Empire and the United States. Then you go to what? Article 20, Article 21. It mentions who? Moors. Huh? What? I know I'm being sarcastic. But you have to do. You can't just take everything at face value. You have to read other things. Yeah, you're right. Only 2% of the slaves in America were from Africa. Now that's kind of connotative because the word slave means Slavic, and the Europeans were the original ones held in servitude here. If you read things like this book, The Golden Age of the Moor by Ivan van Sertima, you'll see that millions of Europeans, Slavics, Slavic slaves, Czechoslovakia, millions of them were shipped here in bondage. Millions of them, because we ruled the seas, right? Europeans were the first slaves, right? Oh, what else we got? Yeah, exactly. To add up, they missed who came in and cleaned them up. Exactly. These Europeans will say, you know, the Renaissance in Europe as if they initiated it when they initiate crap. How do you go from being dumb to all of a sudden teaching yourself without any instruction? That's impossible. That's like me not knowing how to build a house, and then I'm just like, oh, I know how to build a house now. Like I gotta read something. I gotta either read a book or study nature, like, and that's learning from an outside source, not from self, right? So these people are frauds, right? Let me see. Yeah, White Cargo. Yep, White Cargo is another book that exposes that they were servants. Also, They Were White and They Were Slaves by Michael Hoffman II is another book where Europeans admit that they were shipped here. What else we got? If you're gonna file anything with them, it's their system. Of course, they're gonna ask for fiat because it's their system. I ain't never seen a Native American with an afro though. That's funny. Look at any of the Olmecs. Look at any of the Aztecs, and you'll see they got locks. You'll see they got curly hair or woolly hair, like the prophet said. So I don't know what type of Native Americans you looking at. Look at the Olmecs. They got bigger nose than me, bigger lips than me, wearing a fez, and they got curly hair. So I don't know what you looking at. Probably some $5 so-called Indians. So trust is the way to freedom. Trust is the way to freedom. Yeah, trust yourself. That's how you'll be free. Trust yourself. Don't trust nobody. Feathers versus Afro. I don't know what you're talking about. You know, have you ever seen the people claiming to be Native Americans? They'll have the feathered headdress, and it'll look something like my hair. Look at my hair. Look at how it grows, right? And then look at the feathered headdress, and which one's the original? Huh? Oh. Same thing with the Egyptians. You'll see, you know, that hat that they wear, it kind of goes back and it goes down. What do you think was in there? Oh, probably hair. Stop being stupid. Exactly, looking at fake Native Americans. Also, if you're in the chat, comment where you're from so other Moors can link up with y'all, because where there's unity, there's strength. And don't let no BS divide y'all. You know, don't let no BS, well, I don't like what that person's saying, so I'm not going to mess with them. Don't let none of that BS divide you. Let me see. Yeah, you can hit them with the Clearfield Doctrine. I was having a conversation with, what is his name? The Recorder of Deeds in Providence. I can't remember his name right now. But I used the Clearfield Doctrine, and he was saying, well, if you don't recognize this nation's currency system, then we can't provide you with the service. Meaning, if you don't pay us in private commercial stuff, because that's what we accept, then we're not going to honor your stuff. Now remember, when you're filing things with them, it's not government. So that there's no need to do it. You know what I'm saying? If you want something on the public record, go to a newspaper. If you need a newspaper to go to, hit up Abdullah El Talib Mosley Bey. He has a Moorish newspaper. So if you want things on the public record, put it in a Moorish newspaper and give a Moor some fiat, not some European. Also, this YouTube video is what? Public. And it's recorded. Recorded public record. Imagine that. You could also get a website. I know Brother Moreno Bay has a website, published info.net, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe hit him up, ask him, you know, if I give you a donation, can you, make my stuff public? Let me see what else we got. Dope. Everyone's commenting their territory. Cool. Who's hair? Probably a horse. This ain't no horse hair, bro. I was born with this. That's not horse hair. I can run my fingers through this. This is scalp. This is all me. You discredit indigenous. I don't discredit Native Americans. I am Native American. I'm not using European history. How is the Olmec had European history? How are Aztecs European history? How is a treaty European history? How's a law dictionary European history? How's them admitting that we're not Indians European history? It's interesting. Making up stuff to claim free handouts. Native Americans, blah 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 blah. Sovereign nations are linguistics, and blah 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 blah. I know what you're saying. What else we got? So there's 81 people here. So 81 people should be commenting where they're from so they can link up with other Moors. Link up, link up, link up. Also, be wary of any Indians. You know how, like, this entire video I exposed them? Be careful or pay attention because they'll say that we're terrorists. Now, name one thing that I said that was violent. Let's look up the definition of terrorist. My girl's making some cookies right now and the oven's going on. Terrorist. Terrorist. This is from Google. A person who uses unlawful violence and intimidation, especially against civilians, in the pursuit of political aims. Name one thing that I said that was violent. Well, let me turn this thing on. Partner's making vegan cookies, vegan chocolate chip cookies, and they're infused with some medicine. I know y'all know what I'm saying. Let me see. What I miss? What I miss? Not you. I just turned that off. It's not real. Hold on. Excuse me. Oh, you wasn't talking about my hair? Yeah, so everyone comment where y'all from so y'all can link up with each other. Also, I was invited to a Moorish event in Chicago, October 15th to the 20th. How many of y'all are going? I was considering going. You know, I might not go. I don't know. I was thinking about going though. How do you go visit another country without a passport? Well, if you help things, if we're gonna speak to another nation, we need. What do we need? A consulate. What do consulates do? The commercial interests of their people in a foreign nation. So if we're gonna go to another country, our consulate needs to speak to their, to their consulate, so that they can recognize our passports. Because if you look up, the title, the United States codes, look up passports, it'll say for the Europeans that no passport shall be issued. Passports will only be issued to those who have allegiance to the United States. That's the only way you can get a U.S. passport. You have to have allegiance to the United States. Now you can get one through them and just reserve all your rights because they're in control right now because our people don't want to wake up. But you could also, do that and then also help establish consulates in different countries so that we don't have to go through these Europeans to leave our land and come back home. What else we got? Unlawful violence is when others say it. Well, violence isn't just words. You have to actually do something. That's what terrorism is. Alright, so we got, let me see where everyone's from. If you can't see the comment, let me see. Any more around CT, Connecticut? Yeah, there was a brother who came to my class a few weeks ago. He was from Connecticut. But let me show you how Connecticut is really spelled. It's Q-U-I-N-N-I-H-T-C-U-T. Connecticut. That's Connecticut. That's how you spell it. Q-U-I-N-N-I-H-T-I-C-U-T. Connecticut. But if there's any more in the chat right now from Connecticut, let the brother know. What else we got? Denver, Southern Arizona, Gettysburg, PA, Khalifa Moors, so-called California, Wisconsin, Texas Republic. I know a few people in Texas. Another Texas, great. Excuse me. Atlanta. What else we got? Texas. There's a lot of people from Texas. New Orleans or New Orleans. Ohio. Mecca. I assume you mean Chicago when you say that. Link up with each other. Arizona again, Las Vegas, Philly, California. Great. Alright, so there's no need for me to make this a 2-hour video. Peace. Share this out. Tag your favorite Indian. Have them how about this? Here's some homework for the Moors, alright? And for so-called Indians who are watching, who are really Moors and they know it. Have them prove that this is wrong right here. Have them prove that this joint memorandum that I just showed you with their signature on it, and that they agreed that they're a Rhode Island corporation and that Rhode Island's laws would apply to them, and that their leader gets appointed, have them prove that that's wrong. Then also have them prove that this appointment from the current de facto governor of Rhode Island is wrong. Then also have them prove where Raymond L. Watson agreed that he's commercially known as Raymond L. Watson and agreed that the governor can appoint him to any status. Have them prove this wrong. And then, if they can prove that this is wrong, that this is fraud with his signature on it and thumbprint, I'll call myself Indian. I'm laughing because they can't, because his signature's on it, and her signature's on it, and their signature's on the document. But that's the homework for the Moors. And ask any so-called Indians to watch this video and disprove anything that I said. You can't. Peace. Love y'all. Study, study, study. If you ask me what to study next, I'll say study yourselves. Higher self and lower self. Peace. Love y'all.